everyone. I just wanted to get on here real well and speak about something that's been happening to me over the last 3 days and the experience about it. So, over the last 3 days, I've been getting like a vibration. It's like a zzz, 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 and it's on the inside of the thigh up toward the groin area. And it just like it's almost like there's an invisible kind of a weapon being placed on the skin in a particular spot, and it's the same spot over and over and over, and it's like zzz, zzz. And so for 3 days this happened periodically, and finally today I just like freaked out. I mean, when you think about it, this is your root and your sacral, right? Your fight or flight chakra. And I don't know what was going on, whether it was somebody using a technology to affect the chakra system in those particular spaces and places. I don't know if it was somebody focusing and sending energy. To me, it felt more like an actual technology because of its consistency in location, the location and the consistency of the location and the consistency of the timing and the duration of it. So it's a little different, seemingly, than it is to actually receive energy from somebody mentally. Anyhow, for 3 days, off and on, this would happen. And today I got home and I just flipped, right? I'm just cussing. Yeah, it really is an advantage sometimes when nobody else is around to have that conversation loudly and boldly with the unseen, right? And, it felt really good because for a long time I have been focused on really transmuting my own chaos, right? Well, I'll tell you, after 3 days of absorbing this, whatever this energy was, into that specific system, I don't know if I failed the test. Like, it took 3 days, but after 3 days, I finally just blew up, right? And like screaming at the heavens. Why am I being tested, right? And so, so I don't know if this was intentional, like if that frequency that was hitting me in the particular root and sacral chakra area was generating a specific response, if it was an implant of a specific frequency that was meant to flip my mental body into a more angry, like I want to kill everybody thought, because it happened. I mean, it's a violation when your intimate areas are kind of, attacked or targeted like that. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it except observe it. And then observe the way that your mind starts to get angry about it. Like how there's nothing you can do. I put tourmaline, and then I have these big chunks of obsidian, and then I have this huge slab of selenite. I'm like piling it all up, right? And nothing's doing anything. And that's another reason why I think it was an actual DEW, or direct energy weapon, because with all of that, and if it was a regular energy send, it would have been interfered with the selenite and the obsidian, these huge massive pieces that I have. It would have had some effect on it, but it didn't touch it. So it really was acting more like a technological interference. So which leads me to think that maybe it was an implant of a specific frequency meant to have a specific effect on the mental body, on the mental field, and the emotional body. And it did. It took 3 days, and I did have a negative response. So then I'm starting after my explosion, you know, my emotional verbal bashing of everybody unseen. Um, uh, and I'm thinking about it, and you know, the patience that is required through these types of challenges. You know, it's like we could just do what I just did and cuss and swear and be like, why am I being challenged with this? Why do I have to persevere through these types of interferences? Why is this a permitted? Why is the bioform of humanity and animals um, allowed to be targeted like this and manipulated like this? So anyway, I'm fully aware of what happened. There was an interference, and it took 3 days, and I did have a blow up. For all of you who aren't intimately aware of the energies that you yourself embody and produce, and those energies which you receive, and you know, from the various sources and methods. You may not be aware that the reason you're fighting with your spouse is because you have been um, tampered with, and you're taking it out on your spouse. And it's these ones of the old cycle. That's one of their things. It's one of the things that they really get off on, and they find it entertaining to be able to cause these kinds of situations within relationships. So it damages a lot of relationships, and it causes a lot of broken homes. And this is one of the things that they do. I don't have any proof of this, of course. I'm just speaking intuitively and from experience. My own testimony of the last 20 years has been a conscious awareness of this infiltration and manipulation and interference. But then 37 years prior to that, when my life was shit, you know, and there were addictions and, you know, anger and shame and all that stuff, man, it was all manipulated. You know, I wasn't supposed to survive past 30. It was a program. My whole life I said, oh, I'm not going to live past 30. And then May 29th, 1996, I wound up in a car crash, wrapping my car around a telephone pole. And that day, the Most High gave me my life when the interferers meant to take it. And then the next 20 years after that were me in a mental and physical and spiritual battle, which is still existent to this day. And I know that many of you are aware of this. Many of you are fighting, or should I say, many of you are persevering through your own challenges. Kudos to you, because that is like the big one, right? To be persevering while being patient, and while not allowing anger and frustration to become more potent or powerful than the love and the kindness that resides in self. It's maintaining balance through all of these experiences. And sometimes it does require an explosion like I just had. And I feel pretty good about it, you know? I mean, I could sit here and say, yes, I failed the test, I overreacted, or maybe I responded negatively to this infiltration. Or I could say to self, hey, it took 3 days, I managed it pretty well, and then it was like, boom, explode off, right? And now it's off. It's like it was collecting inside of me for these last 3 days, and it was like all of a sudden I just got home tonight and I just flipped out all over everybody. Sorry about that. And really what it was is a vocalization and um, exhibition of frustration and Yeah, it's a frustration at being so impotent against it, right? I mean, we get these DEW attacks, pinpointed energy interferences, in the mind, in the brain. Sometimes you get how you get a little cramp and it feels like you might have an aneurysm or something. I really do believe that that is often a manipulated thing, and they use these technologies to do that as well. I mean, because that happened to me tonight on the way home after I was thinking about this. I was coming home and I was mad, and then all of a sudden, happens every once in a while, to us. And then I get home and then I flip out, and now and then the energy was like gone though, right? Once I said it, I let it go, and boom, it's gone. So it took 3 days to collect in the body, and then it took one outburst to let it go. But here's the thing, see? These ones have this technology to where they can manipulate and flip. Like if you're normally a loving, happy person, they can do shit like this and then flip your attitude to where you just find yourself wanting to go kill everybody of the opposite sex. Off with their fellas, I mean, so, and it's this weird thing. And if you weren't aware of your own self and your own energy, and if you weren't aware of the very subtle interferences over the last 3 days, and the way that your mental body was affected subtly over that period of time, which ended in an explosion. I mean, this is really interesting to know self, or to observe, you know, um, and that's why silence is so necessary. And I'm not talking about meditation all the time, but I'm talking about being still with self. Turn off the television. um, the music, like I just play singing bowls sometimes, and I'll sit here and do my thing in meditation, to you breathe and you become aware of the energy flow within the body and what is yours, right? You can visualize your body filling up with a white light, and then you can maybe put a sensation to that, right? And you're just breathing in the light, and then blowing out whatever is maybe dusty, needing a little dusting going on, right? So you can turn up the chi, right? By chanting Om, by visualizing in breath work. Um, a lot of different ways that you can do that. But once you become familiar with your energy and how you manifest that, and how you can increase it or let it relax, then you understand about these outer influences, like these particular these little zaps that you get in a particular spot, on the chakra system or near it. And then you can see and observe how that's affecting the mental body, the emotional body. And you know that this isn't typically the way that your fields operate, or the thought forms that you normally gravitate to, you know. And so you know that it's an interference. And there's nobody else in your environment. It's coming from an outside source, right? Because for no reason whatsoever, all of a sudden your energy shifts. And it's because of these MNFers, okay? With their slick technologies. Harvesting energy, tampering with energy. And a lot of these folks, they really like the lower energies, and they really do like the sexual energies, the lower chakra system. It's the flight or flight. They want people stuck in these lower chakras because it's the hell, right? It's the hell. If you look on a scale of the colors of the chakra and the vibrations that all, you can see that it is the hell of the system. And then and then there was blockages on all of the higher ones, but these have been removed over time for, I'm hoping, all people, and that the heart space is open and that we are really emitting out a lot of love light and all of that. And there are interferers who are really pissed off about that, and they need us to be angry, especially in this time, because the sun is letting off some solar flares. And if these people, like if they're biofarm, if whatever, I don't think it's organic. I think it's probably synthetic. And even if it is organic, it's probably a host. And it could be that it's not in sufficient health to withstand the higher vibrational energies that the sun is emitting into our fields right now. And so they're having heart attacks, and the biofarms are quitting. And so these spirits are out there, and they don't have a body, they don't have a host. They need somebody to attach to, but they can only attach to lower vibrational forms, because if you're vibrating too high, if you're happy and all of that, they can't stick to you. It just won't stick. If you're always cleansing your energy and you're always keeping yourself in a higher vibrational frequency, and you're happy, and you're focused on being kind, and you're focused on being, your best self, it's unlikely that some of these spirits are going to be able to stick to you, because they're lower vibrational. But if they can affect your chakra, if they can dump some energy in there through, mental imaging or through some other technological way, then they can upset your mental body, which then affects your emotional body. And then if you get stuck on some memory, and then you start wrapping your emotions up with this, you start wrapping your thought form up with all these emotions, right? And then the energy just accumulates, and then you're like, rah, right? And there's an explosion. Well, that's a harvest. That's a lower vibrational energy. And now that I've said that, I've just realized that was probably what they intended. They affected my lower chakra for 3 days, at which point I exploded. So they've got a whole bunch of anger energy that I just emitted out into the atmosphere, and I'm sure, no doubt, that they harvested it. Unfortunately, that angry energy has my signature on it, my essence. Now they harvested it. It's an angry energy. They could go use that angry energy to manifest something or to do something atrocious. And in the spirit world, they can blame that on me. Like, they can have a clone or a duplicate of me in the spirit realm, and then that entity can take the energy that I just exploded all over the place in here, and they can go do something. They can go harm somebody, or do a crime against somebody, which they've done, and they can try to destroy my character. They can try to destroy your character. They do this to a lot of us. They've been doing it. Fortunately, it's seen. The Most High and family are able to see clearly through the illusions, and I'm very surprised that they really thought that this was going to work in the first place. But hey, whatever. I don't think of strategies. I don't even play chess. So, I have. I just don't particularly care for somebody trying to attack me. I'm not into that. So, whatever. Anyhow, I really hope that somebody can relate to this. I think it's really important that we pay very serious attention to any outer interferences along our lower chakra system. And if we find ourselves getting angry in the mind, and you don't know why, consider that there may be some subtle interferences happening within your fields. So just try to be aware of what's yours and what isn't yours. If there are negative thought forms that come up in your mind, counter them right away. It doesn't even matter if you believe it. of course, I just had a whole bunch of negative thought forms, and I believed every single one of them. And I'm telling you, I went off, and I'm upset with myself now that I know that it was a harvest. Anyhow, by sharing these experiences with each other, maybe we can help spread awareness that this is happening within the collective. And the more aware we are of these things, the less likely, hopefully, we'll be affected by them. So, with that being said, I'll see you later.